Giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, HaKadosh. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone to rule and teach well. Peace, love, salutation to the 1144 first fruit. So I'm coming at you with a pretty basic lesson here. As you can see from the title, it's salvation is for Israel. So it's not too much of a hard thing to break down. You know what I'm saying? It's not too much of a hard thing to understand unless you're just a demon. And most people out here are just demons. Christians can't understand it. Damn sure can't understand it. Just regular Joe Schmoes out in the world can't understand it because they think God is all love, which he is. He is love, but to a certain people and to a certain of the certain people. All right. You got to know who he's all love towards. So with understanding salvation is only for Israel, you have to understand who the Lord has chosen. Now, just me saying the title, you already know who he's chosen, but we just got to get it real quick. And one of my favorite scriptures to go to understand that he chose Israel is Sirach, the 24th chapter. Now, I'm not going to read all of it. I'm just going to get to the point of the matter. Okay? It says, Ecclesiasticus chapter 24 and 7, it says, with all these I sought rest, in whose inheritance shall I abide? Okay? So as you know, there's a, for those who don't know, there's a total of 18 nations. Okay? There's a total of 18 nations, according to the scripts. Okay? And maybe that's a lesson for another time to, for me to break down the 18 nations and where you can locate them in the script. But, and one of those 18 nations are Israel. Okay. So all of them had an inheritance at a point, but there's a particular inheritance that the Lord will like to abide or rest his spirit in. All right. Or deal with. So verse 8, it says, so the creator of all things gave me a commandment, and he that made me caused my tabernacle to rest, which when you go into the word tabernacle, it's a tent or a dwelling place. So it caused me to dwell and rest, and said, let thy dwelling be in Jacob and thine inheritance in Israel. Okay. Now, when you go into Jacob, all right, and of course I'm mentioning these side notes. These are lessons and topics for a later time. When you go into Jacob, his name later got changed to Israel. And therefore he was the progenitor of the Israelites. Okay. So the Lord chose Israel. So verse 9, he created me from the beginning before the world, and I should never fail. Okay. Ultimately, this is talking about wisdom, but also Yahushai. Okay. This is talking about Yahushai. So it says, verse 10, in the holy tabernacle I served before him, and so I was established in Zion. Zion is another name pertaining to them. Yes, I'm using a pronoun. Them, pertaining to them, which the them are the Israelites. So first and foremost, to understand who the Most High is going to save, you got to understand who he chose straight from the beginning. Now, this is just one precept. I could go back to the book of Genesis. Salaki. I could go back to Genesis and start at, Genesis 10 if I wanted to, and get way more in depth into the choosing of the people, that the Lord decided to go with. I can go down, go through Japheth, Shem, and Ham, and then get to chapter 11 where it talks about Genesis chapter 11 where it talks about the Tower of Babel. Scroll, get all the way down to like verse 10 or so where it starts speaking about Shem and his generations, going into Arphaxad and Selah and Peleg and so on and so forth. You can go deep into it because that shows how the lineage came about and who the Israelites who the Israelites are. And then ultimately going to chapter 12 is speaking about Abram, you know. At the end of chapter 11, going in 12 is speaking about Abram. And that's, of course, later known to become Abraham, which is one of the forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's a lesson for another day. But to understand who the Lord is going to save ultimately, you got to understand who he chose first. So now we understand that he chose Israel. That's where he decided to. This does not read any other, that when I read this, because these Christians will always be like, well, it doesn't say it exactly right there, especially when it comes to the name. Well, in the Bible it says Jesus, so I'm going to use that name, because they don't want to look into anything. So now when I'm reading this in your same Bible, it will say he chose Israel. Okay? He chose Israel, no other nation. So you can't sit here and combat or tell me that the Lord is for everybody, and he's not, because it clearly says it right there that he chose Israel, and that's who he decided to his dwelling place and where he decided to abide in. Cut. Done. End of the topic. You would think it would be end of the topic, but wacky tacky Christians are obstinate about dumbass shit. Okay? So now that we've established who the Lord has chosen, now we're going to understand better who is going to be saved. Let's just go to Acts 2, another one of my favorite. This is Acts 2 and 21, and it says, and it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. Now, this particular script is used loosely, just as loosely as John 3 and 16 is used. Okay? And I mean loosely with no understanding. So first and foremost, let's go into the word whosoever. All right? And see what whosoever means. Okay? Hos in the Greek. All right? And whosoever literally means who, which, what, that. So really, whosoever is a very direct word that is used. Okay? Who, which, what, and that. So now, let's bring out some examples of who, which, what, and that in a sentence. Hey, I have an apple and I have an orange. Which one do you want? Okay, let's do another one. Because you gotta really break it down to these people like that. Okay, let's do another one here. All right, I have a green car and a red car. Do you want that one or that one? What is the answer to 1 + 1? What is it? Who did this or that? You see, it's very directive, okay? And it makes you choose a path. And it makes you decipher and distinguish. It makes you pinpoint something, okay? Whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord. Who, which, what, that. One. Okay? Someone. Something. Okay? So you have to pinpoint who that whichsoever is. All right? And it's going to be clarified in the next verse. So now that we understand, it says, and it shall come to pass that whosoever, so pretty much who shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. It says, ye men of Israel, hear these words. Okay? So the next verse says, ye men of Israel. So the whosoever it's speaking about is Israel. Okay? Obviously, according to the title of the lesson, this is about Israel salvation. Okay? So it says, who shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved, ye men of Israel. So Israel is the one who's going to be saved. Israel is the whosoever, is the who, what, which, and that. What nation? Who are the people? Is it that nation or that nation? Which nation is it speaking about? It's speaking about the Israelites. That is the nation. It's distinguished. All right. It's very direct and it's firm with what it's talking about. The scriptures is what I mean. What? Okay. So let's trickle on to our next verse to bring some more understanding of why it's Israel to be saved. No other nation. Okay. These other nations are going into subjection. They're going into slavery. And that is authorized by the Lord. Matter of fact, the officer Shamak in the Atlanta camp did a lesson, which I'll just repost on my page. He did a lesson saying slavery, I think the title was like slavery is authorized by the Lord. Or, it's just pretty much that. I'll repost it. Slavery is authorized by the Lord, and rightfully so, it is. You go into Thessalonians, 2 Thessalonians, you go to Revelation where it talks about the recompense that you should get for doing one thing to somebody. All right? Just very loosely paraphrasing because I'm on another topic now. So this is Romans, okay, chapter 11 and 26, and it's right there. This one should be done after this. It says, and so all Israel shall be saved. As it is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer. Again, the deliverer is going to come out of Israel because we established it in the beginning of this lesson that he decided to dwell in Israel. So where would he come out of? He would come out of Israel, a black man from the tribe of Judah. Okay? The so-called black man from the tribe of Judah is going to be the one who's going to deliver the Israelites, and that's how all Israel is going to be saved. His name is Yahushua, okay? It says, and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob. There goes the word Jacob again, which of course his name got changed to Israel, okay? Verse 27, it says, for this is my covenant, which means like a contract or a bond that has been established, all right, unto them. There's the pronoun again, referring to who? Jacob. So I have the word them in a simple definition. It says used as the object of a verb or preposition to refer to two or more people or things previously mentioned or easily identified. So things previously mentioned. So this, in the case, them, what was previously mentioned, were the Israelites that shall be saved. Simple. Okay? It says, when I shall take away their sins. And that's another indication right here where it says, when I should take away their sins, because technically, who's the only people who can sin? The Israelites. Why? Because only the Israelites were given the law, statutes, and commandments. That's another topic and another lesson for another day, how you can break that down with 3 or more scripts. Okay? So that is this lesson. I wasn't going to make it too long. It's straightforward. It's to the point. This is how you can prove that that salvation is for the Israelites. Okay? And no one else. So Lord willing, this was edifying. I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem HaKadosh. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who rule and teach well. Peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. And like always, repent, for Yahushai is coming back sooner than what me and you believed. All right, shalom.